Hello, everyone. My name is Kevin Wayne Johnson. I am the founder and the Chief Executive Officer of the Johnson Leadership Group, LLC. We're based in Clarksville, Maryland, which is about 40 minutes north of our nation's capital and 20 minutes south of the city of Baltimore. And I want to welcome you to the Champ I Am Virtual Summit. It's a pleasure to be with you. I'm very hopeful that you will enjoy this presentation. As a certified leadership development trainer, I work with individuals like yourself and teams, and also entire organizations to build, to equip, to develop, to coach and mentor and train aspiring leaders as well as seasoned leaders and everybody in between, so that we all can be our best, both personally and professionally. So what I'm going to do in this session is walk you through the subject and the title that simply encompasses what being a real success is all about. Very, very important that we develop these personal strategies and principles that will help us to be all that we can be as we go through our day-to-day activities, managing and leading people, projects, initiatives, tasks, actions, everything that's before us. So this is our second annual conference. As you already know, this is a 3-day event. I will be teaching you from the title how to be a real success with the emphasis on R.E.A.L. Let's talk about relationships. Let's talk about equipping. Let's talk about attitude and mindset. And then, of course, leadership as well as we walk through this. Here's my information. I'll share some more with you at the end as well. There's my telephone number. And as you can see in our logo there in the top left, we have a theme that we work with and we work by. Very, very meaningful. Came to mind several years ago. And that is for all of us to know better. That's part of the learning. That's part of the desire to want to know more and to tap into our potential. But then once we know more, now we want to do better. So know better leads to now doing better. That's the plan of action. And I do have a call to action at the end of this session. But ultimately, it's for all of us to lead better. So know better, do better, and ultimately lead better. So welcome to this session. I'm going to walk you through some strategies and principles that I believe will help us all, because when it comes to being a success, both personally and professionally, we need to keep this acronym R.E.A.L in mind: relationship, equipping, attitude, and ultimately leadership. So here we are in the middle of the circle. There's the success. And while it may be a subjective word, it really has a lot to do with what we know, our desire to grow, and then ultimately pouring into others. That's what we mean by knowing. And what's really interesting about these words is that they end in ing, and the ing is really emblematic of continuation. It's recurring, it's ongoing. We never stop learning. We always have that thirst, and we always have that hunger to want to learn more and to know more. So knowing is emblematic of us growing. We're growing personally and professionally, but it's not all about us necessarily. Now we can take what we know and sow into other people, help to equip them, provide opportunities for training and resources and information so that they can be the best that they can be. That, we believe, is what success is all about. It's not just what we know, but now we grow from what we know. And now we're thinking about others and not just ourselves. And we take the time to sow into them. Very meaningful, very, very emblematic of who you and I are as people. Now, let's talk about the aura in the R.E.A.L, relationships. You hear about it all the time. People talk about relationships, building relationships, sustaining relationships, maintaining relationships over time. All of that is very important. I don't want to downplay it, but relationships, that is what we call people knowledge, accounts for a whole lot more than just the product knowledge. Being a subject matter expert and having a high degree of intelligence and acumen as it relates to our industry, our field, in the marketplace does go a long way. But first and foremost, it's the personal relationships that you and I build. So success is tied into who you know and who knows you. What are people saying about you when you're not in the room? What are their thoughts? Are you being recommended? Is your name even coming up? Something to really think about as we talk about the aura and how to be a real success. Relationships, it matters. I encourage each and every one of us, I'm including me in it, to make sure that we take time out each and every day, Sunday through Sunday, to build upon the relationships that we have, build trust, be the type of person that wants to have conversations and dialogue with other people, get to know them, allow them to get to know you, so that when we do show up, that relationship has already been cultivated. And then over time, we can build up on our product knowledge. But very rarely do we walk into a situation necessarily because of what we know. More times than not, it's because of who we know and who knows us. So I don't want to downplay the importance of intelligence, acumen, and subject matter expertise. Of course, that's very important when you show up. But the precursor to it is people knowledge, being reputable, being understandable, listen, recognize and acknowledge there are other people in the room. That's all the relationship piece, and it's very, very important. And this is the first leg of success. Now, here are a couple of rules I just want you to think about, internalize it, bring it in, and you have to remember, in the top left, we're talking about unconditional love, just respect, value, care, concern about others. That's what it's all about. In the middle, at the bottom, help. When you and I show up as a leader, truth of the matter is, people really have three questions. First question is, do you care? Second question is, are you going to provide some hope? And the third question is, are you going to help? Now, people don't always necessarily come out and say that, but that's really what's on the heart and what's in the soul of people when we show up. Look at the bottom right. You see that piece of the puzzle. Relationship has everything to do with you and I being that final piece that fits into that puzzle to make the puzzle whole. And so each of these images reflects something just a little bit different. But when it's all said and done, remember, unconditional love goes a long way. Are you that piece of the puzzle that makes the puzzle whole? And are you there to provide people hope? Do you care? And are you there to help? Because that's what people really want to know. And these are what we call the relationship rules. Now, E, how to be a real success, R-E-A-L, equipping. Equipping is synonymous with developing people, pouring into people, helping people, also in the area of leading people, of course, but being there to support and advocate and really, really value the gifts and the uniqueness that people have when they come into your presence. Now, this is just a visual example of coworkers who are coming together on a team, TEAM, together, everyone achieves more. And they're builders and they're construction workers. And what's taking place is they are now putting up part of the foundation of a new construction. It could be a home, it could be an apartment building, it might be an office building. But as you can see all the way down the line, if you look real close, there are probably about 12 to 15 co-workers working together. And what they're doing is they're representative of the fact that one is too small a number to achieve greatness. So if you want to go somewhere fast, you can go there by yourself. But if you want to go far, you need to be locking arms with a group of people. And this is really what equipping is all about. It's synonymous with mentoring and coaching and really helping to develop. And what's taken place here, we call it the law of significance. And what's significant about it is recognizing and acknowledging that in order for them to be successful, in order to lift this heavy object, it's going to take a team of individuals, and all of the individuals on the team are bringing their unique gifts, their unique talents, their unique strengths, their abilities, and they're able to get it done because they're working together as a team. So very important. Kind of keep that in mind. This is part of being a real success, recognizing and acknowledging that we can only get but so far by ourselves, and we need to collaborate and partner with others. Here's another example. On the left side, here is an example of a teammate in the midst of climbing this mountain. It's challenging. If you happen to be a mountain climber, it can be challenging, but you can go a certain distance alone. And that's what we show here on the left. This mountain climber is traveling alone, probably up to maybe 2,500 feet, maybe 5,000 feet. But as it gets a little bit more steep and the air becomes much more thin and the wind starts to blow and the temperature starts to drop, we need some help. And we call this the law of Mount Everest. As the challenge escalates, the need for teamwork elevates. And what we're doing, we're equipping each other, we're helping each other, we're assisting each other, we're advocating one for another, because now we're at the 10,000 foot level, maybe 15,000 foot level. The air changes. It's harder to breathe. The muscles are really sore. And we need the team to work together to make it happen. So the E is equipping. Now, mindset. This is the A, how to be a real success. Getting all of us to show up with the right mindset and the right attitude. Gratitude, being grateful, being thankful for who we are and what we do. That thank you, that appreciation, that informal conversation with people within our sphere of influence. Let people know that we appreciate them. You're doing a great job. Our team would not be the same without you. Goes a very long way. You see that right in the middle, the thank you followed by an explanation point, that personal note, but also that verbal communication as well, letting people know that we really appreciate them. It doesn't take much to build people up, just a very short, authentic, genuine, honest, I appreciate your efforts as a part of this team. Goes a long way with people. We're speaking volumes into their lives. On the left, this is just an emblem that just shows navigation. We're helping people to navigate which direction to go, what road to take. And a lot of that has to do with our mindset and our attitude, having the attitude of gratitude in terms of showing up and helping people to get from A to Z, because they might not necessarily know. And then, of course, on the right side, this young man is just celebrating. He's happy. He did something well, and somebody reminded him and congratulated him on doing it well. And now he's celebrating. And he will show up with the right mindset because he knows that he is appreciated. So, relationships, key. Equipping, key, attitude, or mindset, very, very important when it talks about how to be a real success. Now, if you've never been to the symphony orchestra, I would challenge you to go. It is a beautiful thing to watch the conductor able to manage getting the symphony orchestra, which would include either the soloist or maybe even a 75-member choir in the back, to all be in unison and to be together in unity, making some phenomenal music. It's amazing. You have your piccolo and your clarinet. You have your French horn and your tuba, your piano, your cello. You have your violin, your viola. You have your saxophone and your trombone. You have your triangle and your cymbal. I could go on naming all of these instruments, and in many cases, multiple musicians playing the same instrument, and everybody's on one accord. We call this the law of the lid. Leadership ability determines a person's level of effectiveness. And the conductor is right there in the middle, game face on, giving instructions as needed to each of these professional musicians, and everybody's coming together on one accord. That's leadership. And that is so awesome to watch it. I would encourage you, if you have not been, please go. You will definitely love it. Leadership ability determines a person's level of effectiveness. Now, I want you to think about something else as well. Leaders develop every day. This is a daily process, not in a day, but over time. And the one thing I didn't share with you in the opening is that I worked for the federal government for 34 years. I was a frontline leader, a mid-level leader, and a senior level leader. And I had a chance to observe and experience a lot, especially as it relates to watching how people feel under bad leadership and then watching how people thrive under good leadership. And so once I retired after 34 years and transitioned into this season of life, I am an advocate of helping all of us, regardless of what level you're in, and regardless of whether you're government, corporate, nonprofit, in ministry, or in the academic setting, to emphasize to all of us the power of leadership and the awesome responsibility of being a great leader. Leaders develop daily, and you are to be commended and also rewarded. I give you a pat on the back for being with us in this 3-day summit, learning and absorbing and getting a lot of great information from all of us. So, leaders encourage, leaders do challenge, leaders inspire, we also enable, but equally important, we are the example, we are the role model. This is what leaders do. How to be a real success? Relationships, equipping, attitude or mindset, and then leadership. Because you and I are not made in a day, but it's a daily process of development. And these are 4 to 5 of the attributes and characteristics that we carry as leaders. I want to thank you so very much for the opportunity to be with you. Thank you for listening. I am hopeful that you found this encouraging and uplifting, motivating, and inspiring. And you can reach me at the Johnson Leadership Group, LLC, at our website, thejohnsonleadershipgroup.com. On the website, on the contact page, if you're led, send me a note. You get a complimentary 20-minute coaching session where we can talk a little bit more about the material here, or really any other topic that you might want to discuss. And I will be more than happy to have that conversation with you. Kevin Wayne Johnson, the Johnson Leadership Group, founder and CEO. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the summit, and I hope to see you real soon. Bye-bye.